morning. Today is Sunday, November the 9th, the year is 2019, and my commentary will be on the next video because these news reports were so long, but I really wanted to share them with you all about the missing college student Alexis. So Alexis Crawford, who was found dead, and her two roommates, her roommate and her roommate's boyfriend were arrested and charged with murdering her. So I'm going to do my commentary next. To be the next video. But I want you all to look at these news reports that I'm about to show you and then join me on my next video because it's just a lot I want to say about this because this is very disturbing to me. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Watch these news reports, check it out, and then see me on the next video, I'm going to post. Today, again, is Sunday. It is November the 10th. The year is 2019.
We begin tonight with the AUC community in mourning after the loss of one of its own, while the couple accused of killing a college student and hiding her body now sitting in the Fulton County Jail. Barron Brantley and Jordan Jones both charged tonight with malice murder. They're accused of killing Jones's friend and roommate, 21-year-old Alexis Crawford, and dumping her body in a public park. Our Nick Sturdivant has more tonight on how students are reacting to the disturbing news.
A lot of people have just been on edge.
For students in the AUC, it has been a tough week. The news that police found Clark Atlanta University student Alexis Crawford dead in a DeKalb County park Friday came as a shock.
My reaction was definitely that it's frightening. It's frightening for everybody in the AUC.
Clark Atlanta student Camille Dash said she had a class with Alexis.
I'm not really sure how other people are reacting to it or how they feel about it, but it makes me feel kind of uneasy.
The medical examiner's office determined the cause of death was asphyxiation. Police said they were led to her body by one of the suspects. Officers secured warrants against and later arrested this man, Barron Brantley. Saturday morning, Brantley waived his first court appearance. Jordan Jones, Crawford's roommate and Brantley's girlfriend, was arrested Saturday and is a suspect too. APD says a motive has not been established. Crawford did file a report with police a few days before she was reported missing on November 1st. In this report, she described unwanted kissing and touching from Brantley. Jones was the last person to see Crawford alive. The shocking violence rippling through the AUC community. Clark Atlanta released this statement. Our deepest thoughts and prayers are with her family and with everyone who knew and loved Alexis. Morehouse and Spelman colleges also offered their prayers and condolences.
And within the last hour, the family released funeral arrangements for Alexis, saying they are, quote, truly grateful by the outpouring of love and concern that they have received. Services will be held next Saturday, November 16th at the Hill Chapel Baptist Church, that's in Athens. Gregory B. Levette and Sons Funeral Home is handling the arrangements, and the family is requesting that any cards, condolences, or memorials for Alexis be sent in care of the funeral home. Of course, we've been following this heartbreaking story from the beginning. We're going to continue to bring you updates on the 11 Alive app. You'll also find links to all of our previous coverage there.
We continue to follow breaking news. A missing Clark Atlanta student has been found dead. Police say her roommate and boyfriend now are accused of killing her, one of them leading police to the body in a DeKalb County park. Police holding a news conference about an hour and a half ago.
1 week ago, on Friday, November 1st, the Atlanta Police Department took a missing persons report for Clark Atlanta University student Alexis Crawford, age 21. Today, Alexis's body was found in a park in DeKalb County off of Columbia Drive. Our investigators were led to the location by one of the suspects. As a result, our investigators are working on securing arrest warrants for two individuals. Jordan Jones, who's a female, age 21, and Barron Brantley, who is a male, age 21. Jordan had been Alexis's friend and her roommate. While a motive has not been clearly established, the department did take a police report from Alexis Crawford on October 27th, and this is a few days prior to her being reported missing. In this report, Alexis described unwanted kissing and touching from Barron Brantley. Barron, who is the boyfriend of Jordan Jones. Jordan Jones, who is Alexis's roommate and friend. The case has come to one of the saddest conclusions possible and has been absolutely heartbreaking. To all of the APD investigators who worked on this diligently and around the clock, I say thank you. Thank you for treating Alexis as if she was one of our own family members. And to Alexis's family, our hearts go out to you. I am so truly sorry that we could not provide you with a better ending. Thank you.
We want to go to Elwood Lopez live in Exchange Park, where Crawford's body was found earlier today. Elwood, the park is a distance from Crawford's apartment in southwest Atlanta.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. We're here in DeKalb County. This is the Exchange Park. Now, just to give you some context about this park, it's pretty huge. So we don't know exactly where Alexis Crawford's body was found. This is where police say that one of the suspects led them to her body here. But again, this park is pretty big. Out here, as you can see, it's pretty quiet. There's a patio table right here. Not too far from here, down this road off of Columbia Drive, there's a recreation center. And a little bit before that, there's a lake, and I was driving down that lake. It's pretty dark there. You could see that there were some animals out there, but it's pretty quiet. We didn't see any police presence outside here today. The recreation park, you can see there's some cars that were parked out there, but again, no police presence. So it is unclear. They have not said at what time her body was found, and we're trying to get some more information regarding exactly where in the park Alexis Crawford's body was found, Jeff.
All right, Elwood Lopez in DeKalb County. Thank you, Elwood. We want to bring in 11 Alive's Deborah Tuff right now. And Deborah, I know you've had a chance to speak to a family friend. Has there been a sense of optimism among friends and family that this would have a different ending?
There's always that hope, especially when you have a loved one who you talk to every day, you're a part of every day, who you just FaceTime the day before they officially went missing. So there was hope, but they were still cautiously optimistic because, as you know, she went missing. Alexis went missing a week ago, but they were still searching for things. We got some sources told us that there were reports of her cell phone pinging by her apartment, and so some family friends of hers and one of her best friends actually went searching in this high brush area right across the street. I mean, they were turning over everything that they could find and didn't find anything.
The dynamic in this is this sexual assault report that you have a copy of.
Yeah.
That had been filed before she disappeared. How are police looking at that? This factors in, obviously, as to a motive with the suspects that are being arrested, but nonetheless, this is the headline for the most part from this body that's been found.
This is the headline, and you know, as the chief said, they don't know a motive, but they can't discount the fact that on December 26th, Alexis filed a police report on December 27th. She said, not December, but October 27th. She said October 26th, Barron Brantley, she along with Barron Brantley and Jordan Jones were at the apartment drinking. Oh. And she believes that she accused Barron of sexually assaulting her, you know, with unwanted touching, unwanted kissing, and she blacked out. She went to Grady the next day, the day that she filed the police report, and got a rape kit. And then a few days later, she goes missing. I
know as we've been covering the story, you know, you look for those little pieces, those snippets to give you an overview of what may have happened or what was going on. But I think one of the red alarms or the red flags that I certainly saw was when it said that the roommate who had been the friend of the victim, Alexis, they were not speaking. So that made one wonder about the dynamic that was going on inside that apartment and that relationship.
Right, because it seems that how it happened within a few days, because in the police report it stated, Jordan told police that she and Alexis weren't speaking because of an incident that happened days earlier. Now police
Do we know what the incident was?
It's this alleged sexual
this
assault.
One, right?
Yeah, but police wouldn't confirm that to the media. And this report basically details everything that Alexis says happened that night. Had
the family been in contact with the roommate during the search for Alexis?
It's interesting that you asked that question. They called the roommate, and this is from what I've been being told by close family friends. They called the roommate, and at first she was responsive, but eventually she told them, and this is based off of what they're telling me, allegedly, that she asked them to stop calling her phone. And they would call, and it would get that, you know, how when someone has a phone and you can tell when someone either, you know, has you on do not disturb or block, they could not get through. And I even reached out to Jordan. I had her cell phone number. I called her, I texted her, I got no response.
So the roommate and Alexis go to this liquor store on October 30th.
Right.
And really that's the last sighting we have had of Alexis after that. After the liquor store, there's no sighting whatsoever, no evidence of where she went after that.
No evidence of where she went. Now, she did post a couple of emojis on someone's Instagram page, but that was it. There was nothing else. Another interesting point in this police report, Jones told police that she couldn't remember the name of the liquor store. She just knew it had package in it, and it was on Abernathy Boulevard. So Aiden Brown, who was my photographer on Tuesday, we did some searches, and I even have my notes here, and we were writing down all the names of the stores that had package in them.
Yeah.
And one was on MLK Drive, and we were like, no. And the only one that had package in it was D&M Package Store on 595 Ralph David Abernathy. We went in there, we asked the worker, hey, did you guys remember seeing two girls coming here on this date? Mm-hmm. And he said, you know, funny thing is the police just left taking pictures of surveillance video that we had. We asked to see the surveillance video. He said he had to run it through his boss. We left our number, you know how that works. Right. Called police, and police said, you know, we're not gonna give that to you. And then of course they released it later that day. But he said, yeah, two girls came in. He couldn't remember because he sees a lot of faces. Two girls came in around 11:30. The timeline that Jordan gave them, they pulled up in a red car and then left. And I asked him, I said, was anything out of the ordinary with their interaction, how they responded to each other? And he said nothing seemed strange. So it should just be very interesting, and I keep using that word to see how this all rolls out.
So after the police report was then filed, what happened after that? Do we have any sense of the timeline there?
Family members, and this is what family members say kind of raised a red flag for them. On Instagram, and I don't know if it was through her location or if this was a post, it showed that Jordan had gone to Detroit, where she's from, around 5 or 6, the same day that Jordan went missing. 5 or 6 that night. And the family at that point tried to call Jordan, and I believe she picked up the phone at that point. Yeah. But once the story started getting heat and started getting legs, that's when she told them, hey, don't call me anymore.
Do we know anything else about Barron through all of this, about his background or his circumstances, what he does in Atlanta or what his past has been? Do we have any sense of that?
A very small glimpse. We do know he's not originally from Atlanta. He's from Savannah, and you know, he's in the city of entertainment, so he's an aspiring rapper. But that's all we know. Yeah. An aspiring rapper and a producer who was dating Jordan, who also was a Clark Atlanta student, who just also happened to be Alexis's roommate. And all these things, these pieces to this puzzle kind of came together and exploded, allegedly, on October 26th.
So incredibly sad, only 21, you know, her life in front of her. She's in college and clearly succeeding here in Atlanta, and so many dreams ahead of her, and a family that loves her. We've heard from her father this week, who was just
oh my God.
In great pain. So difficult to listen to him, you know, calling for people to help find her and all of that. I mean, it's just a terrible story.
And they're a tight-knit family. The day before she disappeared, she was FaceTiming, as it says in the police report, with her mom and her sister. And like any broke college student, hey, can you cash out me some money? Yeah. And they were like, okay, we'll cash out you some money. And they didn't hear from her again. Not that part of the family. Another sister says that she texted her and said, hey, what are you getting into for the weekend? And the sister said nothing. And she said she didn't hear from Jordan after that. And that's what raised red flags, because even though, you know, most college students, you go off to college, you don't call your parents. Right. If you need money, if you need something, you're going to always reach out. And she, at least every 2 days, would call her family. Just to,
not this time.
Not this time.
How about Clark Atlanta? Have they had any reaction so far?
No, actually. I called the police chief Monday when I was first put on this story, to see if I could get some kind of statement, even though I know they're not the lead investigators, APD is. But no, from what I understand, Clark Atlanta has not released a statement, but it should be noted that the apartment was off campus, about 2 miles away from campus,
Sure.
but she still was a Clark Atlanta student, originally from Athens, and had dreams she wanted to go to a HBCU and Spelman, Clark Atlanta.
Sure.
Morehouse, that is the epitome of Black excellence, not only just for Atlanta, but for the HBCU community.
Right. I guess as we read these stories and we cover them, I'm struck, and I know you are because you are involved in these stories on a day-to-day basis, but so much violence toward women in our society. I mean, it seems as though it is unrelenting and a constant flow of stories involving women and being victims and having violence predicated upon them by men.
Violence predicated, even the little girl, going back to the little girl who went missing, Cupcake in Alabama.
Right.
A little girl who's just outside playing.
Well, how about the Auburn girl who is missing right now?
She's
as well?
missing right now. She's been missing for 2 weeks. She just went to go get gas, and now I believe, and backtrack me if I'm wrong, they've arrested someone in her disappearance.
Right, but they have not found her.
They have not found her. And when I was watching that story, and we're not supposed to get attached to stories.
Yeah.
It was hard for me. It was hard for me. And when the news came down and we were able to confirm with Reverend Hutchins, who's now stepped in to help with the family, he's a community activist.
Marcel Hutchins.
Yes, that she passed away. I was on another story, and it was Jeff, it was very difficult for me to write that story because I felt attached. She's a young girl. She's a young Black woman who has her entire life in front of her and a family who supported her and a community behind her. They just had the visual, just earlier this week, a couple of days ago, and now she's gone. And now it's why? Why is the question. So I can only imagine what her family is going through right now. This has to be incredibly hard for them.
All right, Deborah. Thank you very much for your insight, Deborah. We appreciate it. We will continue to follow the story. For the very latest, the breaking news on the Alexis case, you can download the 11 Alive app and you can get alerts sent right to your phone, 11alive.com. Also, Deborah will have the very latest updates for you tonight.